Welcome to Shom Machshava on the Daf. The month of Av is sponsored by the Einhorn family, Leilu Nishmas of Naftali Ber Cheskel. We're holding in Chulin Daf Tzadik Ches. The Gemara at the end of Amud Aleph tells us there's a machlokes if bitul is done b'shishim or by 100, and it depends what you learn from Zro'a Beshela of a Nazir. A Nazir brings Shlom to Beis HaMikdash, and there's a part of the animal, the Zro'a, the hand, that he gives to the Kohen, but you have to cook the Zro'a to gather the rest of the animal. What about the fact that the Zro'a is going to give taste to the rest of the animal? You say it's batal on the rest of the animal. So the question is, how do you measure the rest of the animal? Is the rest of the animal 60 times the Zro'a, or is it 100 times the Zro'a? And from here you learn the concept of bitul b'shishim or bitul b'meya. The Rishonim argue, is this a din d'oraisa or is it a din d'Rabbanan? In Rashi, it's mashma, it's a din d'oraisa gomer, the 60 and 100. And Tosfos learns it's only a smachta be'alma. But Kolpanim, this is the source, this idea, this concept of bitul, you learn from Zro'a Beshela by Nazir. What's the pshat? What's the oimik that you learn specifically from Zro'a Beshela? And in addition, there's a chiddush here that we don't have other places. As the Gemara tells us in Amud Beis, here you could go and cook the Zro'a Beshela with the rest of the animal lechatchila. That's the mitzvah. Usually when we say bitul of a isser, it's only b'di'evet. If a isser fell into a pot, we say it's mutter. But you're not allowed to go mevatel lechatchila. You're not allowed to go take a isser and cancel it. Here you do it lechatchila. So what is the oimik that we see here in Zro'a Beshela? The Ramah in Teres Ha'oilo Chelagimel Perek Ayin Aleph, he starts by saying that what's the idea of the shlomim of a nazir? Shlomim of a nazir is not an indulgement. It's not a tanugi oilam hazeh. It's a mitzvah to go and bring shlomim. So the remez over here is, if you're doing things correctly, and you're coming and doing what you need to do in this world, and not trying to indulge too much, there's no yisurim over here. In shum isur v'lo hezek yochol hazikoy. The Torah is telling you, you could take this Zro'a Beshela, which is asur, and cook it together with the rest of the food. Don't worry about Yisurim if you're doing things l'shem shemaim, you're doing things the right way. Then Netziv, in his Pirush Hamik Dover, he says like this, a Nazir, when a Nazir did, when he went through the process of being a Nazir, he really elevated himself to be almost like a Kohen. He's not a Kohen because he's a Yisrael, but he has a Gedusha, which is very similar to the Kohen. And that's the idea over here, that you go and you take a Zro'a Beshela, which belongs to the Kohen, you mix it together with a piece of the Nazir, by doing a bitul, and then you're letting the Nazir eat it. Because you want the Nazir to have a little bit of a mixture of kehuna, because he's somewhat a shtik Kohen. He has a mile of a Kohen. And he goes on to say, that's the reason we also put the breads together, so the taste of the breads goes and mixes up. So this is really the concept here. The Torah tells you to mix it up, but you can't mix it up without a bitul, because Lamaisa the Nazir is not a Kohen. So you mix it up in a way that will be the minimum amount to create a bitul. And that's the Gemara argues over here. What's the minimum amount? Is it 60 or is it 100? It can't be more than that, because I want the Nazir to have some kind of a taste of the food of a Kohen. Rav Shushan Raphael Hirsch in his Chumash, he says the following. He says, there is chazav v'shoik that you give to a Kohen always. That's like a maila. Before you eat your food, you give something which is higher to the Kohen, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But a Zro'a Beshela is a different message. You take the whole animal, you cook it together. This is your food. You have to give from your food to the Kohen. You're not going to enjoy your food unless part of your food belongs to the Kohen. Zro'a is power. Zro'a is koyach. You want to come and give a message that whatever we have, whatever is your food, whatever belongs to you, to the Nazir, it's coming from the power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who is represented by the Kohen. The only way you're enjoying Birkas Hashem is if you understand that everything comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So part of your food has to go to the Kohen. Meaning, there's a message here to the Nazir. The message is that whatever you have in this world, it has in it, Birkas Hashem, it has in it from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm taking the entire animal, I'm cooking it together with a Zro'a, which is asur, because it belongs to Gavoya, and I'm giving it to you. You should know, within what you have something coming from above. And I saw someone mentioning that's specifically for a Nazir, because what happened to a Nazir? A Nazir for 30 days was parush min ha'olam hazeh. He became Kaddish completely. Now he's going back to be a regular person. So the message you'd say, when you're going back, you should know, whatever you do in Olam Hazeh, all the Gashmias has within it some nitzot, something from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like the Zro'a Beshela, which is cooked together with the animal. And this as well explains the idea of the bitul b'raiv. I need to be shishim or 100. Here's the source. Because here I want to come and do a bitul, I want to cancel it, but the minimum amount to still have something. What is the minimum to go and cancel and put it into the food? From here you learn shishim or 100. Anyone who wants to join or sponsor the Shor Machshava Shiurim, please email shormachshava@gmail.com.